Okay, WA6ED. It looks like it's that time for a SOARA Saturday TechNet. And let's see if there's any emergency or priority traffic before we start the TechNet. Okay, this net is open to all licensed amateurs. If you'd like to join the net, please call now.
Alpha Echo 6 Hotel, Ray.
Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-Ray.
Okay, we have Ray, AE6H, and Derek, K6 SPX. Anybody else like to join the net? Please call now.
Alpha 86 Rich Gecko in the background, Ed.
Okay, sounds good. In the background. All right, let's see if anybody else wants to join the net. Please call now. Okay, well, maybe some more people want to sign in a little bit later. If you have a question, please call now.
This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-Ray. This is new to the net, and I'm trying to become more familiar with how to operate on the net and make sure that I can connect well to the net.
It's now a silent key, unfortunately. And it looks like there's some people going to try to take it over, but it might go down for a while. So if you have a HamClock, you might be sad. I guess if you go to their website, there's an announcement. And then Rich, WA6VOT, sent me something out of the UK that I guess they're going to try to make an open source version of the HamClock or something like that and have a community behind it. I mean, that's my favorite ham radio toy. And I have one on my desk at work, and I have one on my shack right here. I look at it all the time. Okay, well, that's number one. And then number two, on the next round, I'll explain some of the things to renew my license. It was not obvious to me. Okay, AE6H, you can hand it over to Derek, K6 SPX, and then Derek, you can hand it over to Mike if he wants to talk. If he doesn't, just hand it back to Net, and I'll see if anybody else wants to join the Net. Take it away, Ray. Good morning, everybody. WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. This is Ray, AE6H, and unfortunately, we missed the first, probably third of your transmissions. There was a double with you and SPX, and he won, mostly. And so I came in with something about silent key and HamClock, but I think the last words we got of yours were silent key. Anyway, just for reference. And no question, but I've got a interesting observation I hadn't really thought about. And I was, because of where I parked my new-to-me travel trailer, even though I've owned it a year, I'm still in a sharp learning curve. At the location of its solar panel, the fixed solar panel installed on the trailer by the factory, because I have to face the trailer almost due north, my parking spot, I'm not getting a lot of voltage. At the peak yesterday, I got 17 volts out of the solar panel. Well, after doing some research, it wouldn't charge. I've got the LiPos, and they run 13 plus, and they were at 13.2. Anyway, no charging occurred until I saw somewhere online that it may deem I need a 5-volt differential. In other words, the panel needs to be putting out 5 volts more than the battery level, or should just shut itself down. I don't know if this is standard with charge controllers, but just wondering if anybody has similar experience. And with that, over to SPX, 86.
Roger, thanks Ray. Yeah, so this is K6 SPX. I'm new to the net, and I'm trying to familiarize myself on how to operate and communicate on the net, and I'm also coming to you on top of my balcony. So I'm just trying to experiment, figure out how best to logistically, participate.
Okay, Derek, no worries. This particular net is a directed net, so we give people take turns. That's why we probably double. And it's not the end of the world, don't worry about it. Most nets like this are directed, so we hand it over to each person. So your turn, you would hand it over to AI6WE if he's there. That's Mike, and that's what I state at the beginning when we get people to sign in. So let's see if Mike is there, and then we'll try again on the next round with you, Derek. No big deal. Okay, over to AI6WE if you're there. And he's either doing something or busy. He warned me already. So let's see if there's any new check-ins. If anybody wants to join the net, please call now. W6CAG, good morning. Okay, I got Claude, W6CAG. Anybody else want to join the net before we hand it over to Claude? Okay, take it, Claude, WA6ED.
Okay, W6CAG here. Good morning, Ed. And a little bit late getting in front of the radio here, so I missed your opening monologue. Sorry about that. Did hear Ray asking about charge controllers, whether you need a 5-volt differential, and I would expect that depends on the specific units, because a modern charge controller should have the ability to detect the differential much smaller than 5 volts. But I don't have an answer. Back to you. I'm not sure who I both heard.
WA6ED for the SOARA TechNet. You did it right, Claude. You handed it back to me. Are there any other check-ins before I move to the top? Okay, well, HamClock, the developer, it looks like the creator and maintainer is Elwood Downey. He's WB0OEW, and he's passed away. He's a silent key now. HamClocks are going to go down and quit working here shortly. I think it's in June. The server, I guess, expires. I don't know the deal on that. But anyway, people are scrambling, trying to move it forward. And if your HamClock starts acting weird, now you know why. And I think I doubled with Derek when I announced that. So sorry about that, guys. And then on renewing my license, I did not know I had to go to FCC ULS to put in the request. I had to log in. And then I had to go to FCC Cores to pay the bill, okay? And there are two different websites, or two different parts of the same one, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a straightforward thing. It's like two different things you got to do. And that was not made very clear to me until later on. And I spent so much time on FCC Cores, it's not even funny. I figure an FBI agent's going to come see me and say, why are you hanging out on that government website so much? But anyway, I finally figured it out. Okay, let's go up to the top of the list, over to Ray, AE68. Take it away, Ray. And then, next time around, Derek, you can hand it to Claude. I'm going to assume Mike's not around. So Derek, hand it over to W6CAG when you get done. And then when you finish talking, make sure you give your call sign. You should already know that. Okay, over to AE68. Take it away, Ray, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. As you know, they say it's lonely at the top. I say that because you referred to me as the top. As for net, for Derek, there's all kinds of nets. They have various formats. And of course, the best thing probably is to listen to a few different nets. This one, as it says, a directed net. That can have two forms as well. The directed net, you can go back to net control whenever you finish each time, and the net control calls on the next station in line, if you will. Or you can do what's often called round robin, which is what we do on this net, and that's each one hands it to the next person in line when they're finished. And of course, there's the Tuesday evening SOARA net. There's the HF nets on Sunday mornings. So tomorrow morning there'll be a couple of nets. There's the Racy's nets in the evening on various SOARA repeaters. There's the Firewatch net on Thursday evening. You can get a lot of experience listening to nets, and you'll see that they're different in their format sometimes. So anyway, some are very formal, some are rather informal, as is this one. That's all I have this round, so over to Derek, 86H.
Thanks, Ray. This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-Ray. And again, I'm new to the nets, and I appreciate that, Ray. I will endeavor to listen to those nets and participate where appropriate. Also, I was hoping to get some feedback as to the quality of my signal. This is new, and I want to make sure that I'm being picked up well, and as part of my kind of just, preparing to make sure I'm setting up correctly. Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-ray.
Okay, thanks, Derek. Hand it over to Claude, please. WA6ED.
This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-ray. Turn it over to Claude.
Okay. Hello, Derek. W6CAG here. And I got that as Kilo 6, that's Sierra Papa X-ray. My old ears, they sometimes play tricks on me, so I don't necessarily hear what people are saying to me. I've been accused of that. My wife's telling me that a lot, that I don't listen. Anyhow, that's, yeah. Oh, and don't forget, we have the D-Star net on Wednesdays. That's a pretty, well, it's almost an inside joke. Anyhow, but there is one, 8 p.m. on the 146.115 repeater, D-Star. I guess my brain is catching up. I'll go ahead and head it back over to net, W6CAG, right there it is.
Thank you, Claude. WA6ED, and this is the SOARA Saturday TechNet. Would anybody else like to join the net? Please call now. Okay, this is an interesting thing. I took an AMA class, American Management Association class, back many years ago on negotiating. One of the things I learned is I didn't listen very well. In the class, I didn't listen enough. And when I came home, I said, I learned I don't listen very well. And my wife just about fell on the floor laughing. So you got to learn to listen. And if you don't try, you're never going to learn. So anyway, I had to say that, tell everybody about it. But anyway, it's one of those kind of things. I said, yeah, I didn't know how to listen very well. She thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So now I work at not thinking about what I want to say when people are talking to me, but I think about what I am listening to. And then you'll see me pause and think about what I want to say. But usually by then somebody else has their word in edgewise, so that's why I don't talk as much as I used to. So anyway, unless it's a directed net and I'm in control. It is kind of funny. And then Derek, the reason Ray knows so much is he's the communication director, so he needs to know all that stuff. Okay, over to Ray, AE6H. Take it away, Ray, WA6ED.
Well, thanks, Ed. And yeah, that seems to be a somewhat universal experience, doesn't it? I can guarantee Deb, although she left the house for the day, could definitely corroborate all the not listening very well. So I think that's a habit of most of us have. I think it's unfortunately a habit, and just as in real estate, the three most important things are location, location, location. In ham radio, I sometimes wonder if the three most important things shouldn't be listen, listen, listen. So many times people, myself guilty as charged, jump in without having thoroughly listened to the other party's transmission. Again, that's a good way to learn, just as it's learning about that. Listen, listen, listen. Participate, but listen, listen, listen. So with that, I'll turn this over to Claude. Over to Derek. 868.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I don't have much more to say, except I agree with everything I'm hearing. When I turn it over to Claude at W6CAG, Claude, could you provide me some feedback in terms of the quality of my signal? This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-ray. Turn it over to W6CAG.
Absolutely, Derek. Gotcha. Got it. Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-ray. This is W6CAG. Your signal sounds good. You're full quiet in the repeater, good audio level, comfortable. I don't have to reach over and turn the audio gain control on my receiver up or down. They're comfortable level along with the other folks that are on here right now. So whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. I tried to listen to the input, but wherever you are, I can't hear you direct, so I couldn't hear you outside the repeater. but through the repeater, you're doing good. I'm in Wake Forest. As far as listening, yeah, you're right. Listening is important. I'm pretty sure that I heard that kind of advice in management class sometime in the last century. It's been a while since I had any of that kind of training. Ed, before I forget, thanks for the info on the HamClock. I will be really disappointed if my HamClock stops working. I really enjoy having that up on a monitor here that it sits on a shelf here in front of me. I'm hoping that somebody will pick up that up and keep it going. With that, I think I listened. Maybe I didn't listen well enough. Go ahead there, Ed. W6DAG.
WA6ED. So HamClock is supposed to continue working until June of 2026. And then Rich sent me this article. I haven't read it. It's not too long. But anyway, it looks like there's some people already scrambling. But I don't know the details yet. So you might want to do some research yourself on it if you like HamClock. I love it. I think it's wonderful. It's really sad that this gentleman passed away. But, you know, that's going to happen to all of us. So, not so great. And Derek, you sound great. You sound fine. Sorry about that. I ignored your first request. You get busy thinking about what you want to say after somebody else gets me talking. It's just like not listening. Anyway, it sure seems that way. But let's see if there's any late check-ins. If anybody else wants to check in to SOARA Saturday TechNet, please call now.
Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo, back out in the open.
Okay, Mike, go ahead and take your turn.
And good morning to the group there, and good morning to that newbie Derek out there, and Ray, Claude, and whoever else is lurking out there. Not much going on here, and just out taking care of some errands. But good to hear everybody out there this morning, and I guess I'll hand it back to Mr. Red there, Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Well, if you're going to hang around, I'll have Derek hand it over to you next round, and then you can hand it over to Claude. So we'll see how that works. All right. Well, HamClock is a big deal. FCC ULS is a big deal. And getting on the net, Derek, getting on different nets is always fun. And you'll learn as you go. Don't worry about it. If you mess up, people will tell you. And just don't do it again. So that's just all I can tell you. I was really nervous when I first started getting on nets and stuff. And there's no good reason to be that way. All right, over to Ray. AE6H, WA6ED.
Like I said, this is Ray, AE6H. Yeah, I would echo exactly what you said. There's no bad mistakes. It's sort of like questions about ham radio. There are no stupid questions. Hams are, for the most part, pretty forgiving, so not to worry. And besides, they'll still let you keep your birthday or whatever else is dear to you if you happen to mess up on the net. Not a big deal. As far as your signal quality, sorry we ignored that. It could not probably be a lot better. I don't think. It's very clear. As everybody said, and of course the ham radio thing is on repeaters, full quieting, which means the repeaters receiving you very well, obviously, and rebroadcasting it as well. So perfect audio and very good signal all around. So whatever you're doing, as I said, keep doing it. Your ball phone is working fine for you. And used to be we disparaged ball phones a lot, but as the owner of several, they've really improved their quality, build, etc. over the last few short years. So they're a real contender. And even Gordon West recognized, who was very opposed to them initially, recognized them as a viable source of, reasonably priced radios. And some of the ones are so cheap that, under $20. If you lost it or damaged it, dropped it in the water or whatever, it wouldn't be a huge tragedy. So, anyway, that's the two things, though, and I verified by doing a Google that my Victron FMPT 75/15, which is the one I'm talking about as a charge controller in my travel trailer, does need a differential of 5 volts. It needs to be have an input voltage from the cell, solar cell, so at least 5 volts higher than the battery is trying to charge. So basically, it needs 18 plus volts to charge my 13 plus battery, and 18, it wasn't achievable in the position yesterday. I do have a portable panel and I've installed a jack that I can plug the portable panel into, permanently installed. So after that, I'm going to go out and try that and see if that rectifies the problem. The whole thing came to light in that I installed that jack and wired it in parallel into the Victron. I also redid my Victron connections and my battery connections as well, just to clean everything up and make sure everything was correct more. That's when I realized the system said it was turned on. So now we'll see if it comes up with the auxiliary panels in full sun today. Great day to do it. I suspect the fact that there is full sun and clear skies and beautiful Saturday today may be the reason that's a little light. I think we have probably a lot of people are recreating. Anyway, enough yabbering. Over to Derek, 86H.
Thanks, Ray. I just maybe share some more information. I'm located in South Costa de Casa. It's a valley. And I'm situated in such a way where I probably won't be able to connect to many people directly, but obviously the repeater is working well. I'm using a mobile unit. It's a Yaesu FPM 500. It's a little man pack with a carbon 6 mat strapped to the side of it. So I'm on a balcony. I'm sitting in front of my man pack with the J-pole antenna suspended up about 20 feet, getting above the house with a clear line of sight to the repeater. I'm glad this is working. I'm probably going to do something a little bit more, maybe semi-permanent, where I can have a more like a 30-foot or 40-foot mast that I can raise up and run some LMR down to my office. But in any case, this is working well. Yeah, thanks for that information about the solar. I didn't know about that, so when I finally pursue solar charging, I'll have to keep that in mind and better understand that. I'm going to turn it back over to Cloud. I think W6CAG. That's who I did it before. Sorry, by passing it incorrectly. But this is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-ray. Turning it over to W6CAG.
W6CAG. Well, let's see. It was supposed to go over to Mike. So, Mike, you go ahead and pick it up. You can bounce it back to me. Go ahead.
All right, not a problem there, Claude. I just figured I'd wait and I figured you'd pass it to me there, and not a problem, Derek. And I know you're new, so don't take it the wrong way if you pass it to the wrong person. Like Ray and everybody said, we all make mistakes, and the only worst mistake I can say you can make is accidentally transmitting on a band you're not allowed to for your license. That'd be about the worst mistake you can make out here. But not a problem there, and I agree with you, Ray, on some of that, and I also would keep that in mind with the charge controller for my little camper as well. And I know each charge controller is got its own specification, so maybe not all charge controllers require that 15-volt input, so that's also something I got to do some research on with the controller I've got. Alpha India 6 with the Echo over to CAG.
Okay, Mike, thank you. And Derek, like Mike says, no big deal. You listen and you'll learn, and everything's fine. We're all okay here. A couple of things. One, I did a Google search a little bit on W with B0WW, and that took me over to this, I guess, this outfit that he ran called the Clear Sky Institute. And then I went to that website. Seems like he was involved in a bunch of stuff other than HamClock. That's one of them, including mag loop tuner, satellite tracking, a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit more reading, see what's going on there. Hopefully, like you said, some group will pick up the HamClock and continue it on. It's really nice, like you said. And good there, Ray, on the charge controller. for your particular situation, you figured out what you need to do, and that's good. That's not inherently something that would have to be true for charge controllers, because they can be designed to operate essentially using a DC to DC converter. They can switch. They can take whatever voltage is coming into it, and then convert it up to whatever voltage they need, and then regulate that down for charge controlling, if that's what they want to do. Technically, it's not that hard to do. Whether any company or supplier decides to do it that way, well, it'll be up to them. And like I said, you figured out what you need, and that's great. Oh, and Derek, thanks for indicating where you are. I am relatively new to Southern California, so I'm not sure where that is, but working for you. Over to you, Ed, W6CAG.
WA6ED, and this is the SOARA TechNet. Let's get it. I think we need to hand it to Mike. Let's get it over to Mike. AI6WE. Oh, we already did that. Okay. Now I'm goofed up. Are there any other check-ins? Please call now. Okay, we don't have any more check-ins. Yeah, I use a GP9 antenna for my 2 meter and 70 centimeter radio here. I run an ICOM 5100. This GP9's on the roof. You might check your HOA and find out if you have an external antenna, if they're going to slap you or not. So you might want to learn about that. And then there are techniques for more stealthy antennas that aren't as obvious to neighbors. So I am lucky in Lake Forest. There's no, at least the last time I checked, there were no antenna regulations, and we have an inactive HOA. So I just hear neighbors grumble at me. So I just leave it at that and try to be nice to them and tell them in an emergency, I'm probably going to be your best friend. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Let's go to Ray, AE6H, WA6ED.
Thanks, Ed. This is Ray, AE6H. And yeah, just for Derek, he probably knows this, but unlike HF, and I know he operates HF quite a bit because he was at Winter Field Day. Thank you. Appreciate your participation with that, Derek. Anyway, line of sight, and you probably know this, is really important for VHF, UHF, and repeaters. UHF, it's even more important than it is for VHF. But if you might not necessarily need to get the antenna really high, if in fact at the antenna point of or location there is a direct line to the repeater, that would be your, wherever that starts to occur, full length of the antenna, not just the tip, or then that would be your sweet spot, if you were, for your elevation. So if you want to do other, like simplex work and stuff, higher the better, I think. So anyway, yeah, that's, I know Salt Branch, you are down in a valley, down next to, Toll, I'm trying to think of the parkway. I use it to come home. I have to take the toll road all the way to your road and then turn right and head to Danes Point. Anyway, this is the 6H and over to Derek.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's Oso Parkway. It's the very south end of Chibuco Canyon, and it's really tough for radio, VHF. I do want to try to hit the San Clemente repeater sometime if that's possible. I'm not sure where that's located, but I'll experiment with that as well. And like you said, like I said earlier, I'm gonna work at a telescopic 40-foot mast that I can leave on the balcony and just raise up and raise down. And living in Cote de Caza, the homeowner association, the CCRs, I have strict rules against the antennas. So I will endeavor to have an appropriate mast that I can put up when I want to use it. And I think that's probably the best solution for here. And it's probably well situated here on this balcony. All right, with that said, I will turn it over to Mike. Mike, I apologize. I'm having a hard time getting your call sign, but I'll turn it over to you, Mike. This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-Ray.
Not a problem, Aaron. my call sign is real simple. It's Alpha India 6 Whiskey Echo. And not a problem there. And I know right about where you're at. I got some good friends that live off of Oso there, and I go by their place quite often. Especially when I used to come over here for all the meetings and stuff like that for the club and stuff like that. So I know roughly about where you're at there. But not a problem, and I'll hand it over to Claus, Mr. CAG, the India 6 with the Echo.
Thank you, Mike. And maybe if I live down here long enough, I'll learn where everything's located, so I can form a picture in my mind. But for now, it is a whole lot of space out there that I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with. As far as antennas that are HOA safe, yeah, if you can make your antenna so it doesn't look like an antenna, then you're probably even better off. Let's see, if you put a little tree or shrub or something on your balcony, something that, and then you can just kind of nestle your antenna up there close to it, make it look like a support stick for the tree. Nobody will be looking at the antenna, they'll be just looking at the tree. You have to be clever. I have a mag loop antenna for HF that I have up on my balcony. Well, the antenna for this radio is also out on the balcony, and they just kind of hides within the shrubbery. My wife loves gardening, and she's got potted shrubbery up there, and it just people just don't see the antenna that's hiding in plain sight, so to speak. Back over to you, Ed. And yes, Mike turned it over to me. Go ahead, Ed.
Okay, WA6AD, and let's see if there's any late check-in. If anybody wants to check into the SOARA TechNet, please call now. Okay, one suggestion or comment at least. He's not in the club anymore. I think he moved away. I believe his name is Craig. But what he did for his balcony is he bought a plastic flower pot, put a tall plastic plant in the flower pot, and then in the center of that was an antenna. And that's how he kept his antenna on the balcony, and nobody ever complained because it looks like a plant. So if it's plastic, it's not going to interfere much with your radio transmitting and receiving. But I thought it was so clever, and I wish I would have got pictures from him, because that would be a really good article for the propagator. I don't know if he ever wrote an article. Maybe Ray will remember. It was pretty cool what he did, and he was very clever, I'll tell you. Very, very clever. All right, well, let's work on a 73 round. I think we're about wrapping up. And if I'm wrong, you can just let me know you want another round. I don't mind. Okay, other than I need to go mow the lawn. Hi. Okay, over to AE68. Take it away, Ray. WA6ED.
Thanks, Ed. And yeah, this is AE6H, and the whole felt antenna thing probably would be a good topic for an entire net. Don't want to get too involved. There are a couple of things that are available. One called a Ventenna, which is a PVC tube with an antenna built into it. Again, it's only a quarter wave at 2 meters, so it's about 19 to 20 inches long. It slides right over an existing roof vent, and you can paint it to match, if you will. Like just use latex water-based paint. Don't use paint that might have metallics in it. It hides up there as looking like a vent on your roof. This plant pot thing is good. And again, he's talking about a 20-foot or something mast. You may not need that kind of height. I don't know what antenna height you're at now, but it is zooming in. So you don't certainly need to go any higher than that to reach this repeater. Anyway, 7-3 everybody. This is Ray, 86H. Over to Derek.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, I do have a nice quarter wave VHF, UHF antenna that I bought at HRO that I'm going to mount to a mast and raise up. it's a good one. My approach will be to use a semi-permanent one. So when I need it, I put it up. When I'm not using it, take it down. And with that, I think the associations is going to have to be happy. Anyways, appreciate the net allowing me to participate. I'm going to turn it over to Mike, Alpha Indio 6 Whiskey Echo. This is Kilo 6 Sierra Papa X-Ray 73.
All right, not a problem there, Derek. And back to Ed's comment about the plastic plants. The only thing you do have to watch out for is some of the plastic plants out there have metal in them to hold the branches up in. You do kind of watch that. And you may look at gentleman that used to make antennas, and he makes them for multi-band as well, and they are roughly about half-inch PVC, the Ed Fong antennas, and those are pretty stealthy. And you can also, if really stealthy, they make the J-pole antennas out of a piece of wire that you could just literally almost tape or staple to the side of the balcony, and nobody would ever be the wiser, except for the cable. And those vent antennas Ray was talking about are nice if you can find them, because some of those are no longer in production there. But that's only my comment. Alpha India 6 with the Echo.
Okay, over to Claude, WA680.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, yeah, that's a lot of interest in self antennas. I don't know, discussion or something about that. It'd be good to accumulate all the different ideas that people in the club have implemented or tried, and see how they, that sort of thing, make it available. Good idea, Ray. So everybody have a great rest of the weekend and the week ahead. Ed, thanks for running the net here, and stay 7-3. And now I think it's back over to you, W6CH. Go ahead.
WA6ED. Well, thank you, Clyde. And if I keep telling people how much fun it is to net control, maybe we'll get more people that'll want to net control. So, anyway, I actually enjoy it, and you're quite welcome. Thanks for the flowers. Running the net is kind of fun. And you never know what people are going to ask questions on this net. So that makes it very interesting to me about what people bring up. And a lot of times I'm learning more than I'm helping. So that's good too. That's always good. All right, everybody. This net's now closed. And have a great weekend. We do have a 40-meter net on 7.2 megahertz tomorrow at 8 a.m. And at 9 a.m. we have a 10-meter net on 28.415 if you're interested. Okay, have a good one, guys. This net's now closed, and we'll return this repeater back to normal use. WA6ED clear. Thanks, Ed. 7386H.
73 is Ray, Derek, Claude, everybody else working out there. Alpha India 6 with the Echo.